16. My name is Larry Lee Slott. I'm trying to build a large bridge. My bridge will fix carbon and save life on the planet from us. The vision of this bridge arrived in my conscious mind in 1978. A short time ago, somebody asked me why it took so long to get my vision broadcast. That's an important question, and it deserves an answer. It has nothing to do with my doubts about the Pontibus efficacy. It has to do with the very nature of the human species. One of my children said it was fear that has inhibited my vision initiative. I was afraid to publish, he maintained, because the Rothschilds et al. And their IRS goons were chasing me around the world looking to extract resources from me for their interminable warring obsession. Divulging my vision might lead them to me here in Amazonia, and I would end up dying in a box of bars somewhere in that great narco-terrorist state. Then there was the fear of being looked at as unbalanced. Global concerns diminish one's credibility with the masses. Would it do so to such an extent that I was afraid of looking like a pure lunatic or a fool? Of course, these two concerns were on my mind, but they were not the defining nature of my reluctance. How could they be? I'd fought Viet Cong, NVA, Somoza's thugs, the Clean Harbors polluters, and other crooked pals in Kingston, Massachusetts. I couldn't believe I'd grown into the coward he was suggesting. What made me delay, truly, was my concern about the natural right of Homo sapiens sapiens to survive. Our species is so cruel, greedy, and rapacious that maybe we shouldn't succeed. Consciousness has given us so much with our ability to make concrete from the abstract that we forget about the terrible effects that the negative side of our nature has had on creation. Buckminster Fuller said to me once that we need not prove our right to survive. I was not so sure. My recombinant DNA escapades were part of history by now. Like Oppenheimer of A-bomb fame, I was concerned that I too might have played God enough already. While criticizing my home cloning kit in a televised debate, Jeremy Rifkin once even accused me of that. Over the years, I have often walked aimlessly in the Amazon jungle, just enjoying life. Until I found a garipe to follow home to Rio Apiau, I once went too deep and was lost for days, avoiding snakes, alligators, onces, electric eels, piranhas, etc. Sometimes I got so far into the bush that animals were no longer afraid, as were their more familiar counterparts. They did not hide when they saw me. They were so emboldened as to even follow me as I stumbled around looking for a way out of my predicament. I grew to love these wild creatures and their lack of free will nonsense. I felt a kinship with them that made me wonder about our sojourn here. Did we really belong? Were we Darwinian in toto? Or were we some genetic experiment of extraterrestrials gone horribly wrong? I went to the Dordogne, Perigord, and crawled into the bowels of the earth to see the parietal cave art of our ancestors, looking for an answer to our origins. There is an abyss in us that does not seem assuageable. Our rape of the planet and our own species is reprehensible. Of over 650 species of apes, plus Homo erectus and Homo sapiens, etc., only we have succeeded so well. I am not so sure that our supremacy is the result of greater intelligence, skill, and conscientiousness, however. I believe our survival and rise to planetary hegemony is due to three repulsive characteristics of our species: atavistic avarice, cruelty, and pedophilia. We are greedy, sadistic sex maniacs. These are not qualities conducive to future planetary needs. Morality aside, these assets are totally contrary to biosustainability. These unacceptable talents determine and are determined in us. They spring from our DNA. We cannot easily break free. CRISPR will not do it. We may be chained forever with unbreakable bonds to these depraved characteristics, our birthright. Marden said, doing the lower when the higher is possible constitutes one of the greatest tragedies in a man's life. I was in a quandary for many years. Did nature err, placing so much hope in us? Maybe we should not survive. I demurred until just a little while ago. What made me see another response was a nagging question implanted in my consciousness that perhaps in our self-immolation we might take the rest of life with us. Coleridge said, he prayeth well who loveth well, both man and bird and beast. He prayeth best who loveth best, all things, both great and small. For the dear God who loveth us, he made and loveth all. I believe, folks, that there is something intangible and sporadic controlling our destiny. We are puppets, manipulated brutally and ineptly within a toxic medium by consciousness. The known limits of the extremes of thought and experience must be breached if we're to grow beyond genetics and nurture. Following a vision is the only way we can become more than what nature destined us to be. The music of our apotheosis is in our dreams. Please try to see my vision in your minds. Thank you for your kind attention.